Hey, real quick, you ever heard of them relationships where there'll be a girl or a boy and they go to their boyfriend or girlfriend and they say, hey, this person just keeps texting me. They keep flirting with me. They keep trying to reach out to me. And it's so annoying. And I wish they wasn't doing this. And they bring it to their significant other and they say, look at this. And the significant other says to them, well, why don't you just block them? Well, why don't you just block them, unadd them if they keep doing that? And then the person says, well, I don't want to be rude. And the significant other sits there and they say, yo, what? What if I told you that you do that with the devil? What if I told you that you take all of the problems that the devil brings to you to God, and God says, why don't you just block him? And you say, oh, well, yeah, you get froze. Hold on, keep listening to me, because I got a word for y'all today. I got a word. So last night, I'm Bible studying with a group of my buddies, and we're reading through James chapter 4. And we get to verse 7 specifically. And it says, submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And when I heard that, I understood it, but it didn't really hit me how I thought it would, because I said to myself, I said to God, when I was sitting to myself, I said, God, really the closer that I've gotten to you is the more that I've realized the devil attacks me more. Like, God, you're telling me submit myself to you and then he'll flee. But God, it really feel like he done turned up the spiritual warfare on me. He's trying to attack me in so many different ways now. So God, I don't really get what you mean. And that's when God started speaking to me. God said to me a couple minutes later, he said, the reason that the devil hasn't fled from you and that he's actually turned up his attacks is because you haven't submitted to me. The opening words in this verse are submit yourselves. Do you know what it means to submit to something? It means to fully devote to something. And you have to understand that in order for you to fully submit to God, that means you have fully devoted yourself to his teachings over your life, to living life how he has told you to, in the full capacity. And God was saying to me, Miles, you haven't fully submitted yourself. And I said, God, but I'm living for you. I'm reading my Bible, I'm praying. And he said, well, how about that forgiveness I told you to have with people that you still don't have? And I said, well, God, I love you, but God said, be quiet. I said, submit to me then. So I'm here to say to some of y'all today that may be agreeing with me or feeling what I felt in that moment, that, okay, well, why isn't the devil fleeing from me? Why have I come to God and now it's almost like I'm struggling even more? You haven't fully submitted. And that's why the devil hasn't fled from you. But keep listening, because this only gets better. I actually got clocked when I came to that realization, and when God hit me with that conviction that I hadn't fully submitted, and I was locked in on, okay, I'm going to be more intentional about fully submitting to God. And also, I want to make something very clear about submission to you guys. You have to understand that submitting to something doesn't mean you're perfect. But submitting to something means that there's nothing that you're not willing to do to please that person, which is God, which God wants us to fully submit to him, not to anyone else, but to him. And that doesn't mean you're going to be perfect right away, but you got to be willing. But you got to be real with yourself when you come to God, because he knows your heart. Some of you, man, you want to come to God, but you're not willing really to give up that lust. You're not willing to really give up that alcohol, to give up that addiction, that drug addiction. You're not really willing to give up the things of this world, that materialism addiction you have. You want to follow God, but you want that other thing too. And you'll give up this, and this for God, but you got that one or two things, or that 1, 2, or 3 things that you're like, ooh, that's going to be hard. And those 3 things are the things that are keeping the devil holding you in this thing we call a foothold. Oh yeah, that's right. You about to get some conviction today. I'm about to speak to you today. I know whoever I'm talking to right now, you feeling this. And it's only about to get worse for you, because God convicted me so that I could come convict my brothers and sisters. So we all about to stand convicted right now. Keep listening. So I end up Bible studying some more today. I'm reading through the whole book of Ecclesiastes, and God brings me to, wrong Bible, God brings me to chapter 8. And I read verse 8, and I'm going to read it out loud, and it hits me that God wasn't quite done convicting me just yet. It said, as no one has power over the wind to contain it, so no one has power over the time of their death. As no one is discharged in the time of war, so wickedness will not release those who practice it. Did you hear that last verse I read? I'm going to read it again for you. Really listen to me right now. So wickedness will not release those who practice it. You telling me God didn't answer my prayer on how I asked him to really tell me what it means for the devil to flee from me? Y'all, this is breakthrough. This is breakthrough. The reason that the devil hasn't fled from you is because you're still giving him access. Just like the analogy I used to start off this video, another analogy I got for you, I wrote this down. I said, why would a man give up hope in a woman who keeps giving him glimpses of hope? You ever hear people talking about this man just keep hitting me up, he just keep texting me, or guys do it too. But then you come to find out, man, the girl entertaining him. She's responding to him. She's giving him hope. She's leading him on. And now you understand he's not giving up because you're still showing that he has a chance. And now I'm reverting this to us in our spirituality. Bro, why would the devil flee from you when you're still giving him access to you? You telling God, I want to be with you. I want to live for you. I want to be loyal to you. But then you giving the devil all these accesses to you. God told you to love people, but you're not loving people. So you're doing all this other stuff for God, but you're not loving on the people closest to you. So the devil's looking at that and he's saying, ooh, I got a chance. Oh yeah, I still got a chance. You saying, God, I love you, but you still going partying on the weekends, clubbing it up, partaking in lust, and the devil's sitting there like, ooh, I still got a chance. Think about it, bro. You are an unloyal boyfriend or girlfriend. That's all you are. Because you're still giving the devil all this access when in actuality, God is sitting there saying, okay, you saying you love me, block him. Block him. And you sitting there saying, oh, come on now. You better be sharing this with some people because this is a word. I don't know. Am I the only one who's absolutely mind blown by this? Like, God really gave me this and I was just like, God, what you want me to do with it? And he was like, pull your phone out and go talk to your brothers and sisters right now. Because y'all, we gotta stop flirting with the devil. Because that's why he keeps coming back. Because we keep flirting with him. The second you stop flirting with him is the second he's gonna flee from you. God isn't a liar. Some of y'all feel like, man, I came to God and now it's like I got all this additional pressure on me. I keep sinning. Now I realize the sins I'm doing and I'm drowning in it. And the devil's attacking me in my sleep now. The devil's attacking me by sending stuff in my life now. God, I thought you said he was gonna flee. It feel like he done turned up the smoke. And God is saying to you, well, I do intend for him to flee. That's why I gave you this book. But he's not gonna flee from you if in your heart, you're still allowing him access. Come on, y'all. So really get intentional about this, y'all. We gotta be better about cutting off the access of the devil. We gotta cut his butt off. We gotta block him. That girl, that guy you look at lustfully, you gotta unfollow them. You gotta stop texting them. You gotta stop talking to them. Them people that's pulling you further away from God, you gotta pray for them and you gotta remove yourself. Them ways in your life that you still holding on to things you want to do instead of going to God, that's the reason the devil hasn't fled from you. That's why you're not walking into everything that God has for you, because you're still allowing part of yourself to flirt with the devil. And another thing that happened with my friends last night is God said you gotta practice home field advantage. For real. This spiritual warfare is like a game. You either walking with God or you not. You can't walk with God and then step foot off the track and start walking with the devil for a minute. That's not how that works. You don't get to have one foot in and one foot out. Bro, you gotta fully walk with God. That doesn't mean you're gonna be perfect, but that means you're intentional. And the thing about God is he'll convict you, because you're not gonna be able to walk with God and spend time in his presence knowing you're doing dirt. Because what darkness can hang around light? It can't. So be mindful of this. Be mindful of this. You don't want to be that girlfriend or that boyfriend that's saying, hey, he keep hitting me up, but I don't want to block him. Because everybody know what that really means. Everybody knows what that really means. That means come on now. Come on, bro. But we do it to God. We get so mad when our boyfriend or girlfriend do it to us, but we do that same thing to God. Come on, y'all. Come on now. This was a word. Bro, send this to 5 people right now. Send this to 5 people right now. People need to hear this. Because this is stuff that's not being heard. This is stuff that people don't understand about faith. They don't get why the devil hasn't fled from them. They don't get it. And this is the answer. And wow, God really does his thing, huh?